Hi, everybody. Welcome to Whiskey Cinema. Today we're talking Lord of the Rings. Get yourselves ready, because we're about to start.
Are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Howdy.
What's up?
Don't everybody jump in at once. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Whiskey Cinema. I'm your host, Dana Holder. With me, as always, Brandon Rich and Jordan the Juggernaut Eames. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right, pretty good. I'm excited. I've been stoked for this episode.
Yeah, I'm fucking pumped.
I've been waiting months for this. Okay, I've asked you guys for months to do a Lord of the Rings episode. And I'm glad.
But Danny kept saying no. I was like, Danny, we need to do it. He's like, fuck you guys. Let's just not do it.
I know. He's like, well, let's wait for the series. I'm like, the series is never going to be put out at this point. Like, it's been fucking 3 years in the making. Come on, just get it done. But we did. We're here.
I was gonna say at this point, nothing's put out. So
what he's talking about, of course, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series, which is coming out later this year. And you know how good this series is? The most expensive series ever made. And it's already been greenlit for a second season before one episode of it is aired. That's how good Lord of the Rings is.
Well, yeah, Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's a no-brainer. That art they put out, I guess it's art of the ring wraith with the sword on fire. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that thing looked epic as fuck. I'm so on board with this. Did you guys get the synopsis?
I needed a new tattoo idea. That is perfect.
Ooh, that would be dope. We're talking. Did you guys get the synopsis of it from that little thing they put out?
Yeah, where it's like a set 1,000 years before The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be like during the 2nd century. So it's like, I think it's post Sauron, or maybe it's during his time. I can't remember exactly the Lord of the Rings timeline, but I mean, if it has a Nazgul on it, I'm pretty sure it'll be in that timeline of him. So I'm stoked to see how it plays out. I love this franchise, so I'm on board.
I'm so excited to talk about Lord of the Rings. My brother Chance, who's a fantasy writer, loves Lord of the Rings. For his bachelor party, he watched all the movies. Then he watched the extended version in theaters. He loves all this stuff. I have been listening to the books, which a lot of differences in there, but to be honest, pretty close. Usually the books are way off. Pretty close, except they had to do some time jumps. Like when Frodo leaves after he gets the ring, it's 50 years after he's gotten the ring. Mm-hmm. It's not like the next day, it's decades. But besides that, there's a couple time jumps. Besides that, pretty close, pretty good. I like it. It's a lot more kind of talking and friendship and stuff. Not as much action, but pretty good. I like it a lot.
Yeah. If you knew how to read, you could read the books.
Oh, I guess that's me. I read the books.
See, I read the books. I've read The Hobbit.
I looked at them like, there ain't no pictures in this book here.
You're like, where's the pictures?
There's like green eggs and ham. I'm on back to that. Fuck this. Reading.
Return of the King has my personal record for movies, or how many times I've seen a movie in a theater. 15.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of those were dollar theater, and I'm okay with that.
Hey, we're all on a budget, man.
Hey, man, that's what I'm saying. I'm on a budget. But I happen to live at that time. I lived right across the street from the Valley Fair Mall, so I walked over there damn near every day and watched Return of the King. I love these movies. Big fan.
Oh, I gotta move over and look at some.
No, I watched these movies. It's been a while, which after watching them all, I regret that.
Yeah.
And I used to always say Indiana Jones is probably my favorite trilogy.
Yeah.
Because there is no fourth.
Nope. Fact.
It might be Lord of the Rings. Jesus Christ, I forgot how perfect these movies are.
Dude.
Yeah, I said perfect. Go fuck yourself.
No, you're 100% right. They are perfect.
Fuck.
Outside of
so goddamn good.
We got a couple people checking in too. For people that are watching this, make sure you click in the video and comments so we can see it. We got Josh checking in. Pandemics made my beard gang go crazy, he says. He's right. Rob,
I got nothing now.
Loser. Stress. It's the stress of Lord of the Rings episode.
It's all the stress, dude. Just nothing. No, I cut it. I think it looks pretty good, you know.
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I miss my old beard, in all honesty. My wife forced me to cut it.
You know what you tell her? No.
I did for months.
With a great beard comes great responsibility.
That's what I should have said. She would have let me keep it. Amanda, the series is gonna be. Robert says hello. Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, hello, Robert.
Perfect. Good cover.
Everybody,
my acting skills are on par. I should have been in Lord of the Rings.
yeah, you should have. You'd have
Could
been
have done better than Legolas.
You'd have done better than Elijah Wood.
Harsh.
You ain't wrong, little bitch.
No,
Oh.
fuck in that movie.
Fuck
Guys,
that.
let's get into some of this. The Fellowship, The Two Towers, Return of the King. Eames, you've said that you have watched the third one over 15 times, which is amazing.
That's just in theaters.
In theaters. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. You've seen it more than I have in total, just those times in the theaters. I think I've seen it maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
And the extended editions are on HBO Max. They're like 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, I love them. I watch all. Those are my favorites. My brother, I was a kid, so I was asked for toys for Christmas. My brother, who's 9 years older, was like, I want movies. So he got like all the extended editions, and I'm like, oh, fucking cool. And I'd always sneak in and snag him and watch them. While I play with my brand new toys, I sneak his movies.
I stole my mom's DVDs of Lord of the Rings. I ain't gonna lie.
Did you?
Yeah, she had them. I watched them. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate these more, Mom.
No, it's
They're
true.
more, yeah.
It's true. If somebody doesn't appreciate as much, dude, I think it's your duty
It's a free game, right?
to let them go. You know what I
I'm
mean?
doing my Lord of the Rings duty over here.
That's very Smeagol of you. Where you go, move it to us. It's our birthday.
I didn't go running out of her room with my precious.
Yes.
I do not have a good Gollum impression. I sound like a fucking Ren from Ren and Stimpy.
Uh-huh. I feel that.
Damn it, Stampy.
Stampy, you idiot.
You idiot.
Well, let's get into make sure you do your set while we're on.
We weren't sitting here for 20 minutes bullshitting.
There's a ticket counter at the top left. It's 8 minutes.
You gotta make sure you have that leopard print in there. You look like you're about ready to shoot an 80s porno.
God, seriously. When's the pizza guy knock on the door?
You got a plumber coming in to fix your pipes.
I heard some pipe needs to be laid, and then it just goes all downhill from there. Let's get into Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes, we do.
If talking movies, it's my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was a lot. Granted, I was a kid when I saw it, so it was long. It was too much story to get in the way of the action, right? I watch it now. I appreciate it a little bit more, but to me, it was always just so long and so much walking.
Now you know how they felt.
And nothing happens. And the deeper you get in, obviously, like the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes of that movie are fucking great. But the first 2.5 hours, I was just like, oh God, something happened. Anything at this point.
He's got to build a universe, man. He's got to build an entire universe.
That's what I said. Looking back now,
yeah,
I appreciate it a lot more. But when I was a kid, when I first saw these movies, I was just like, oh my God, terrible.
Yeah, I guess I was more sophisticated as a child because I look back at that movie now and I'm like, God, it's still amazing.
No, like I said, it is good. It just out of the 3, it's my personal least favorite.
Robert is asking the question we all want to know. Why did you make him cut his beard, Amanda?
I was gonna say they're having an argument over my beard in the comics. What's your guys' take on Fellowship? You think it's amazing, Brandon?
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. It's right there in the middle. It's number 2 of the 3.
Do you have any downsides to it? What's your downsides?
Do I have any what?
What's
Frodo?
Yeah, you're not wrong at all.
There's one consistent downside to all Lord of the Rings movies. It's Frodo.
100%. I agree 1,000% on that.
You going hard at the ring bearer?
Fuck that guy, dude. Sam should have been the ring bearer. He wouldn't have turned like a bitch, Okay,
You're damn right. And he still didn't turn like a bitch, even though Frodo was being a bitch.
he should have killed Frodo and took the ring to destroy it. Fuck Frodo.
He should have, and he would have too. But he's too good of a person. He's a real fucking hero.
He's just trimming up hedges at night, eavesdropping, but
making stews.
Dude, eating 4 fucking loaves of lembas bread, it's fine.
Yeah, I like Gollum's move. He's like, I'll crumble the breadcrumbs over the fat one, and the skinny one will think the fat one ate all the food. Brilliant. He's like, I'll put the sus on him, like Among Us. Sus total on Samwise. That shit ain't Gollum.
It's so fucked up. But again, as a kid, you don't think that, and then you get old, and you're like, God, what a fat shamer, man. Frodo's it just makes me hate him even more. Frodo's a fat shamer, dude.
Dude, he is. He's a piece of shit. He's a genuine piece of shit.
Yeah, Frodo sucks. I agree. He's a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck him. You know what? I wish Gollum won that battle and threw him into the fire.
Right?
Yes.
And then Sam killed Gollum and then finished the job he should have had all along.
You're damn right. I wish Gollum just pushed them both off. Not Gollum. Sam just pushed them both off. He's like, I'm tired of watching you pisses.
I'm tired of the shit. Get out of here. Just chucks them both off. That's the way it should have ended.
I love Fellowship. I thought it was very interesting. They filmed it in New Zealand because it's like the antithesis of Australia. It's beautiful and safe there. Awesome. The Rolling Hills, they actually have a place called, I think it's called Hobbitville or something, where you can go as a tourist and look at all the homes he's made. He left the set there. It's awesome. The little hobbit holes they made, the people, if it's your birthday, you give a gift to everybody. He made it feel like a real thing. The Brandy Bucks and the Proud Feet, or the Proud Foot.
Proud Foot, yeah, not feet, Proud Foot.
All these different, like, weird little halfling people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, apparently what Gandalf does is, if you're happy and chilling by yourself, he wants to pull you out of that motherfucker and throw you on an adventure. He finds the one guy that doesn't want to do shit, and he goes, he's like the teacher in class. He's like, anyone know the answer? And he goes, hey, look, Stephanie doesn't have her hand up. Stephanie, do you know the answer? No, she doesn't. Her hand's down. You're coming with me to Mordor.
That was my favorite part about, because I watched The Hobbits because I thought we were doing all 6, but
some people put in the work. Other people are too busy on TikTok.
There's people like, oh, it's too many movies. Get out.
I can't. We're 50 minutes in, haven't even started on Lord of the Rings yet. It's like new.
It's because now we know we have time to just make up.
Time to bullshit now.
Yeah, because you were too much of a pansy to handle 6 movies.
Even though
we handled 2 actors in all their filmography
last week. About like 12 movies when we do an actor.
Some people just don't know how to podcast.
It's too much.
You guys are acting like Pippin. You're gonna run after the first orb you see. You're gonna look at it. You're gonna get your hands sharpened and shook and attacked, and Sauron's gonna see your plan. I can't risk it.
Well, what about second breakfast? 11sies?
11sies. They can put down some chow, those little fucks.
Fuck yeah, they can, dude.
Damn right.
My wife hit me with a question that I was just like, I mean, because they're hobbits? She's like, why are their feet so big and hairy? I'm like, no fucking clue.
Magic?
The only part on them that really grew.
Yeah, true. And their cocks.
That's true.
I have watched a lot of Hobbit porn. Don't tell anybody.
Hey, no, dude. Hey, we're not one to kink shame here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right.
You guys do what you want to do. We're okay with it. No kink shaming here. I liked how ominous the Nazgul were.
Oh, I fucking love them.
In the very first one, like when they're on their fucking gigantic horses and they're in that like little root kind of underneath, they were one of those things like, God, they're so badass. They don't do much except that one that really
just need to look badass.
But they need to look badass, and they did, man. They killed it. Get me wrong, you guys might be able to know or correct me. In the Hobbit movie, where the orcs are like meeting on top, is that Weathertop?
Yep.
You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys are terrible co-hosts. Movie about a fucking podcast movie. A podcast
about talking about the Hobbit, are we? No,
you should, because it's part of the universe. But we'll wait.
So the Silmarillion. We're not talking about that, sucker.
You mean the book that was in a movie? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's what the TV series is about. Is the Silmarillion.
Loosely. Calm down. Loosely. All right.
Calm down.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Okay, but I thought it was cool that they brought a lot of that stuff back, like the 3 trolls that got turned to stone that they come across.
Yeah.
In the Hobbit. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
A lot of little Easter eggs that if you've seen the first ones, you know.
Yeah, it's just like the little things, or an action scene here is just like a passerby thing in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah. That was pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
At the Comic-Con here, they have those life-size frozen troll statues where they're frozen in stone. They're awesome. They're like 15 feet tall. They're huge.
Really?
Pretty awesome.
That's pretty sick.
They have right in front outside the building too. So when I used to drive down there, I used to just always make sure I went that way at least every day.
Yeah. Is it all 3 too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass. Well, if we ever get a Comic-Con again.
Well, right? When you walk around there too, they have a big statue of Gandalf as well. Gandalf the Grey. I have to add the Grey.
Before he got all that XP.
You're damn right. Before he went full Betty White.
I saw that meme, dude. I laughed so hard. That shit was so funny.
Fuck yeah, it was.
I was like, her name was Betty Gray until she killed the Balrog and was reborn.
That was perfect. Perfect meme for this.
It was.
Features 2 of the greatest things: Lord of the Rings and Betty White.
Betty White, the savior of the world, Betty White. One day.
You went right.
I made the joke before. She's going to outlive us all.
I hope so. She deserves it.
Right?
What kind of world are we going to leave behind Betty White, though, guys? Step your shit up.
Yeah, seriously, guys. Start recycling.
Save the planet for her.
Save the planet for her and Wally. That's it.
The love for Fellowship is amazing. If you go on YouTube and just type in Fellowship, you won't find the movie, but you'll find 500 alternates to the movie. Like one where they only fight with tennis rackets, a bunch of different mods to it. But my favorite is there's a line in the Fellowship where Sam's walking with Frodo through the field and he goes, "This is it." He's like, what's it? One more step and it'll be the farthest I've ever been away from home. He's like, "Come on, Sam, you can do it. I know it's dangerous, but just take a step." And he takes a step. Someone who had a lot of free time went through the entire first movie, and every time Sam takes one more step past that spot, it clips back to him saying that throughout the entire movie. He changed the Fellowship into a 9.5-hour long movie. And I got to tell you, it's my favorite version I've ever seen. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, you would have been able to watch the rest of them if you didn't watch that version.
Right?
Jesus.
Well, no, he made other versions of other movies. I'm almost done with the second one. Let's not talk
I
about
watched
this.
9 hours of him taking a step and saying the same thing repeatedly.
This is it, Mr. Frodo. You go at the mountain, Mount Doom.
Every time he takes a step, he's like, "But I can carry you," and he just takes one step and it cuts back.
Yeah, that's how it was. He cut back like 3 times in one thing, and I was just like, "This is brilliant," but I don't know how much longer I can do this.
I'm pretty sure he went the full 9.5 hours, and then Texas was like, "Fuck, we can't do all 6, guys."
Yeah, I don't have enough time. Get the fuck out of here.
Lord of the Rings is the only movie that's like over 3 hours that just to me does not feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I watch The Irishman, I'm gonna need a break.
Which one?
I differ from you a
Irishman on
lot
Netflix.
on
That
that.
movie's long. It's not as good as Lord of the Rings either.
Yeah, like I said, if you split that show into 45-minute or that movie into 45-minute episodes, it's still a 13-hour season. It's not fuck The Irishman. But there are certain longer movies that I agree with you where it's like, okay, is this close? And then you hit pause on your TV and it's like 1 hour and 20. Fuck. But I agree. It's we watched again. I thought we were doing all 6. We were watching the second Hobbit.
How many times have you complained about one thing?
I'm gonna complain.
Shut your mouth and let him talk. Or you go watch The Hobbit.
Yeah, why don't you go watch The Hobbits and then we can talk about them when you get back.
How many of the Lord of the Rings did you guys watch this week?
I didn't need to. I've seen.
How much God of War did I play, though?
I don't know if you know. Like I said, 15 times on one movie. But yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
I did
saying.
a lot of God of War, to be honest. I knew when we were doing The Hobbit, so my time was taken up by God of War.
Boy. It's worth it. But we were watching, it was like we got to where you first meet Smaug, and I was like, God, this thing's like, I was like, how the fuck did we get here? And you go, and it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes in the fucking movie. And it felt like 45 minutes, but you get like just sucked into these movies and you don't, I mean, I don't personally realize that they're that long.
I don't either.
Like, I just get sucked in and enjoy these movies so much that I never realized they're fucking 3-hour movies.
No, yeah, they fly by. It's time well spent.
100%.
The third one for me for both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
You don't know. You didn't have time to watch the third Hobbit.
Too long. And I'm with Steven, one of our fans, that he likes The Hobbit more than Lord of the Rings. Not even mad at that. Lord of the Rings is more darker. The Hobbit is more like fun and action and kind of, just happy fun.
Dwarfs.
I understand liking the two different variables of it. But both the third ones, you can cut off 45 minutes. No problem. They are long as fuck. I don't need to know the backstory for every flower in the fucking flower. Shire. We can just move on from there, guys. Let's just go. I need to know what the name of the 5 kids are. I want to go home.
In these movies, I don't mind all the backstory. I'm with it.
Put it in the DVD. We're good.
I will say the ending was long, the third one.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't hate it. It still flew by. Maybe because they shine too much of a light on Frodo being the hero. In my mind, I'm like, put that light on Samwise, you fucks.
Yeah.
He literally carried his ass. His back is killing him.
Literally.
We're talking about my favorite character. We're talking about our least favorite, most favorite, underrated, overrated. My favorite character of the entire series is Samwise. In the first thing, this dude's willing to jump in the water, chase after a boat with Frodo. He can't swim. It's too far. He goes anyway. Sam don't give up. He attacks an orc with a frying pan.
Fuck
He
yeah.
played the giant spider when he cocooned his buddy. I love this guy. He's amazing. My favorite. I love this
Dude,
guy.
He's up there for sure.
He's my underrated because he wasn't crowned the hero.
Agreed. That was my underrated too, because he should have been.
He should have been. I didn't want to put him in every category other than worst because obviously that's not him.
No. No.
But so I put him in underrated because he did not get the love he deserved.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Although he did get that chick he was chasing after all those years.
You know, you're right. And at the end, he can make her a nice too, someone who will really appreciate it.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's about. It's about somebody who really appreciates him. And he didn't
toes. Mash him up, put him in a stew.
He was all sad when Frodo's like, all right, I'm going to cross to the east. No, I'm like, fucking, you should have gone 3 movies ago, Frodo. You should have just not been here at all. I'm glad you're leaving. Fuck you.
You know
That's
who changed
facts.
his opinion is J.R.R. Tolkien. He said he strongly thought and was borderline deciding whether or not to make it Frodo or Samwise as the main hero. He made it Frodo, but he says there's enough evidence that leaves a lot for Samwise to catch a lot of the attention, even though it's not overtly said. So you guys have the same opinion as he does. He went out and said it like, to me, Samwise was probably the biggest hero of the series.
Yeah.
So who's the hero to you then, Danny?
Samwise to me is. I mean,
Just
Frodo.
because you haven't put in your input. I don't know if it's because your eyes are too focused on the Hobbit.
Or if you're
I mean, it might have to go for the dwarfs. I mean, loin, gloin, bombus, rhombus. Damn, they had a lot of names, man. 14 dwarfs, crazy.
Bombus Rhombus.
Yeah. Bluffer, boffer, crumbly, timbly, rumbly, tumbly. 14. So funny.
Those are the best dwarf names.
Dude, I
Rumbly.
watched The Hobbit and I was just like,
Totally.
we got to talk about this Dan Lord of the Rings. I got nervous. I was like, there's 16 characters just at the first dinner that I have to memorize all these fucking names. There's no way.
No, you
No
just talk
way.
about the ones you leave.
Holy,
Yeah.
tinker up, tinker up, hinker up.
Rumbly. Still the best versions I've heard.
Rumbly tumbly.
Rumbly. Tumbly.
Sallow, come on. That is my big only complaint about The Lord of the Rings is Smeagol was off with his buddy Beagle. They have a lot of names with us like, he's just like, let's change this letter up on the first name. I don't want to think about names, man. There's a lot of people in this book. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's the easy way to do names. Dude.
They didn't have fantasy name generators back then. He had to come up with this shit on his own.
Yeah, he did.
He couldn't just type it into a computer, Middle Earth names. Okay, we'll write that one down.
Just sits there and writes them all? No. He had like, well, let's just take the B out and add a D. There we go. Now let's take that D out and add a G.
Yeah, you're just lucky we didn't see Bilbo's cousin Dilbo.
Or did I 3 times before this podcast started?
Speaking of silly names, Bilbo's original name was Bilbo Labagini, and he changed it because he thought it sounded too silly.
It
I don't know why
sound
Bilbo
kinda
was
like
better.
me.
It's a good thing that he changed it because it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go rub a lamp. To get him out.
Labagini here. You want to get me for a conjure of secrets? I mean, favorite for me, I had a slash on it. For me, Samwise was my favorite, and I went Gandalf because Gandalf to me, Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't leave out Sean Astin playing Samwise, but Gandalf to me, every scene he's in, I'm super interested.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a wink, he's like, you wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick. I'm like, no, go ahead. And he just like looks over Aragorn and says a little side wink, and then walks in. This guy's charismatic as fuck.
It's true.
But he rolled a natch on that charisma.
I was gonna say he rolled that persuasion check just hard. Done. Natural 20.
Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, and then he told
my favorite character is a slash because I love their relationship. It's Gimli and Legolas. I love their duo.
Love it.
It's fun. Yeah.
That shit I've literally modeled characters after. I have arguments like that where I compete with people on how many kills I get, and I will yell out the number.
Yes.
That counts as mine.
That still only counts as one. The fucking
Don't tell the elf.
Okay, here I want to ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Brandon starting us off. Gimli and Legolas definitely are like the buddy cop of the Lord of the Rings. What is your favorite interaction between those two that happen in all 3 movies of Legolas and Gimli? I'll go first because I watched it yesterday. My favorite is them on the wall. And they did a reunion show recently, like 5 months ago during the quarantine. It brought back all the main cast. Josh Gad did. It's called like Separated but Apart or Together or something like that. And he had him do some lines. And one of the lines that Don Rice Davies did is, who's, by the way, the tallest actor played the dwarf, which was hilarious. He goes, "What's happening?" He's trying to look over the wall. "What's happening up there?" He's like, "Should I describe it to you? Or should I get you a box?" And then Gimli looks at him. You don't know if they're going to fight. He goes, he just laughed. That's my favorite. I sort of laughed. I was like, now they're best buddies. Before they're like competing and they were friends. Now they're best buddies forever.
I know.
Like nobody tosses a dwarf.
I was like, nobody tosses a dwarf. Or when after he says, "You gotta toss me," he's like, "I cannot make the jump. You gotta toss me." And he's gonna fucking stuck, and he's like, "Don't tell the elf." Like he's like, "No, I got you." Whoa, chucks him over. You're right, dude. They're one of my favorite characters. I like one of mine is somebody that probably nobody would guess because he's only in the movie for an hour. But Haldir from Mirkwood, or not Mirkwood, from with how fuck it, I can't remember her name. It's when they're at Helm's Deep and he comes with the army of elves. He's like the head guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because to me, that's always like, they say they preach the entire movie. Elves and men and Gimli, dwarfs and stuff, they don't work together. And he gives up his life for the cause of saving these humans. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
It's just the writing, but he's one of my favorites. And I still love Aragorn, even though he's the stereotypical hero. The guy
Strider.
Yeah, say Strider is the dirty ranger from the north, and then ends up being the fucking king of Gondor, like the largest country of men.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I'm not mad at him at all. Aragorn rewatching is really good.
What's that?
I'm not mad at that at all. He's an awesome character. Rewatching that, he showed up the first day of filming. They had to replace a guy, and the actor, pardon me, I can't remember his name, Viggo Mortensen, didn't want to do it, and his son begged him, who was 10 years old at the time and loved Lord of the Rings. I don't know what kind of kid reads Lord of the Rings at 10, but his son did. I think his name's Ryan, and he's like, "Okay, I'll go." And his first scene is him fighting the Wraiths with the fire and the torch, and they're like, "All right, this guy's good. We're gonna like him a lot." But he just showed up that day, like kind of like spur of the moment, and then we like, "Yeah, I don't know if this guy can lead this film." And he just showed up with the torch, like, "Ah!" swinging it around, like, "Okay, no, he's in. We like this guy." Literally.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I think they should have kept Nicolas Cage though. Should have tried harder to keep him.
There's a couple people that
Because
could
Nicolas Cage got offered that part.
Yeah, I know. Why?
Well, because just imagine how crazy he would have.
There's your extended cut. I would have loved to see that version. They should remake it.
They should have had him come in during that together but separated and had him read some of fucking Aragorn's lines.
They need to redo the whole movie. Just every character's Nicolas Cage, though.
Oh, God, that'd be amazing.
And I mean all 6 of them. The Hobbit, too.
Oh,
I'm sure
no.
they'll watch them.
I'm sure somebody's done it. You just gotta
What am I
find
Not, then we will.
Cage, Nick Cage, Cage, Nick, Kick, Nick, Nage, Cage.
fucking-
Hi, how are you? No. Been to dull the knife.
Is-
That'd be amazing. I'd watch that right now. I'd love that.
Fuck, I hate
It'll be
Nick.
better.
It would ruin Lord of the Rings for me.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Did I ever
I told him that he had family obligations, and he couldn't do it.
I like I like Galadriel as well. She's like the main elf lady, like
Kate Blanchett?
yeah, Kate Blanchett's character. I like how she just basically scares Frodo into doing his fucking job.
Dude, she scares me.
When he's like, oh, here, well, would you take it? And she fucking bursts into that. Her hair's all fucking crazy, and she says she's looked into the glass and seen what it would be if she were to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, punks him, like scared straights him into doing his fucking job.
You're straight.
The world will not be run by an evil tyrant, but an evil queen who ruled with beauty.
Lord, you would have a queen, and she just fucking scares the shit out of him.
Yeah, that was cool. Very
Yeah, I thought that was, and I like how, and again, I'm gonna bring it up, the Hobbit, how she's in the Hobbit, and they're having that meeting with like Elrond and Saruman.
Yeah,
how Gandalf can feel there's like a deeper, darker presence, and she's like working behind the scenes with Gandalf the whole time. Like, yeah, you got to go, just go check it out, man. They'll never know. Like, she seems like the teacher that's like, no, you can't do that. But seriously, just go after school. You're fine. Go ahead. You know, like let's do stuff.
very Dumbledore-ish.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
give me the rules unless you should right now. Then go ahead. You know what to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, 50 points to Gandalf, dude, just for being, just for being there.
How'd you guys like Saruman, who's played by? Man, I'm embarrassed. I can't remember.
Chris
But
Lee?
Yeah, come on, man.
Chris Lee, pardon me, who passed away sadly, who was the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, who had pushed for them to make a Lord of the Rings movie forever so he could play Gandalf. And then he went through a casting. He's like, finally, man, I got this. Here we go. They're like, you're cast the wizard. He's like, what's up, money? They're like, yeah, you're gonna be great Saruman. He's all, I'm sorry.
Well, he got too old. He couldn't do the shit that Gandalf does. He admitted it.
Will you take that thing off your fucking face?
Right? You play
Yeah,
with it.
Brandon.
Every time you talk, we can't hear you because you're fixing your fucking mustache.
Actually, he's right. Don't take it off.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Oh, finally.
You're constantly fucking with it. That's better. There we go. Jesus. I couldn't hear half.
Amanda, shave me.
I couldn't hear half your question because every time you'd go to fuck with it, your voice would cut out.
Well, just focus. Jesus.
I can't.
That's why I never ask him questions.
You keep fucking with it. Okay. I liked him as Saruman because he's got that deep,
Beautiful voice.
scary voice. Like his voice. I think
Sultry. Let's just say it's sultry.
it's so it is, dude. It's a panty clapper, just his voice.
I love it.
No, trust me, I know.
But I mean, come on. Look at that fucking guy. That guy's a bad guy from the jump, just how he looks.
Count Dooku? What do you
He
mean?
don't look like he's saving the world.
He doesn't look like he's saving the world. Gandalf, you're like, man, that guy has seen some shit.
He looks wholesome.
But
He
he's-
looks like he's going to bring fireworks into a hobbit's town.
He looked wholesome. Saruman looked fucking evil from the jump.
I wanted to, as we're talking about fireworks from Gandalf, who walks in with a roaring dragon to scare all the halflings because for some reason he gets his kicks that way. I have an underrated here. I'm going to talk about my underrated. And you guys got to give me your Gimli Legolas moment, by the way. My underrated is Pippin, which is the hobbit that gets in trouble all the time. I mean, that guy is constantly touching stuff and knocking over buckets. You fool of a toque. I mean, that's him. And but I tell you what, man, he sings with the king when his son Faramir's dead. I think he's underrated, man. I think he's really interesting. He holds his own the entire thing.
I do love when he sings.
He sings when they're trying to retake Osgiliath.
Yeah.
And he said, like, no, like it's overrun. There's no way. And Denethor's a piece of shit, who is my least favorite.
Okay.
It's mine too.
Yeah, Denethor and Frodo. Those are my two.
Exactly. Fuck them both. Although when that dude falls from the castle burning,
oh, dude,
as a kid, I rewatched that shit. I'm like, look at you can still see him falling, even though they don't care.
And it like pulls away, and you can just see this fucking fiery person just falling. But one of the things that I hate, and you guys could probably back me up on this, Brandon for sure. I hate hearing or watching people eat.
Ah, fuck that.
And that scene,
God, it's the worst.
Yeah, he got the right in his mouth.
When he bites into the fucking tomato, and it's just like,
yeah.
And then
first of all, he's eating a tomato. He can go fuck himself.
Right?
Keep your mouth closed. You're king.
A raw tomato. Yeah. Disgusting. He deserves to be thrown off a building on fire.
He does. He deserved it a lot sooner. He deserves for his son to die.
Gandalf whoops his ass while he saves Faramir. Just comes in and beats him with the staff.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of my underrated character, halflings don't look strong. He's strong enough to lift up a burning guy on a pyre, throw him off of it. Pretty strong guy. Strong little halfling there. My boy Pippin, played by Billy Boyd. Beautiful voice.
Yeah, dude. That song I have on my iTunes, and I listen to it randomly because I like.
Dude, I got that on my Spotify.
Yeah, dude, I actually like that song. I think he has a really good voice too.
I have Ed Sheeran's version on The Hobbit too. Yeah, Lord of the Rings puts out good music. So.
Oh yeah, when Ed Sheeran does his, I think it was just for The Hobbit. I See Fire. Yeah, love it. Great music.
Fuck yeah, I can listen to that shit all day.
Yeah, I used to know that whole song. I probably don't anymore, but
I probably don't anymore either. That's been a minute.
I used to love that part, dude, just for that whole reason. But the cinematography, I'll say as well. Some of those shots, like especially when they're taking Osgiliath, and you just see like the slow motion, the helmet bouncing, and then you see him just fucking die immediately, pretty much, because they just so far overrun. They don't even get to Osgiliath because of all the arrows, like. And then you got Nazgul and Gandalf with his dope ass light that comes out to save the day. Kind of like this fucking thing. Just oh god,
it's so bright.
It's so bright.
Look for me at the light of the fifth day.
The first light of the fifth day at dawn. Look to the east. Yeah, that's a Helm's Deep. That's a Helm's Deep. What's your favorite scene?
What's my favorite?
You guys want to give me your Gimli Legolas? You need some more time. You want to do randomly later on?
Mine is don't tell the dwarf when he gets tossed. I fucking love that one.
Yeah,
great.
Also, when he's like, I never thought I'd be or die alongside an elf. I was like, what about a friend? I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that was good.
Right, it's one of those ones. It's like I thought you
were forever.
Yeah. No, I think that was going to be the one I'd say is when he says, how about, by a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them on the wall is probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing. Because, at the beginning when they're arguing with each other, when they're, figuring out who's going to take the ring and shit, he tells him, like, I'd cut off your head if it stood but a little. Oh, no, that's Éomer.
Yeah.
When he tells him, I'd cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little taller from the ground.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, like everybody's just like they've been through so much shit together. It doesn't matter what differences they had before. The messages, man, the messages. You got to look through the movie, but it's great shit.
I'm absolutely about it. And we've talked about some of our favorites, some of our underrated. We'll get more of some underrated. But right now, let's take a quick break and thank our sponsor, The Buzz. When we come back, we'll talk more Lord of the Rings and some of our favorite and least favorite parts about it. We'll be back.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I'd go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now.
Oh, hey guys! Welcome back to Lord of the Rings. We talked about some of our favorites. My underrated is Pippin, because that dude can dance the jig like a master. And at this moment, Jordan's wife is paying him a present from me and Brandon. That has to do with our podcast today about Lord of the Rings. Why don't you show him what you got there, dude?
Those my shoes?
Unboxing.
Oh, right. It's your birthday.
Usually you have to do a live stream event for unboxing.
Bro, get the fuck out. These are sick.
Fuck yeah, man.
Those are fucking dope. I don't know.
Badass.
Yeah, they look cool. Lord of the Rings case, bro. Happy Lord of the Rings Day.
Oh, fuck. Thanks, y'all.
Danny, why are you stalling about Lord of the Rings episode? Don't question me ever again. It took a while to paint them.
Well, shit. I take it all back.
The same guy who did my Pennywise shoes.
James
And
makes
those John Wick shoes.
He's awesome. You can follow him on Instagram. He does awesome shoes like that. He's done
Dude's fucking great.
and stuff. Fantastic.
Dude, those are fucking insane. I'm so stoked, guys. Thank you. That's awesome.
I never wear my shoes.
Me
I
neither.
want, but I won't.
Like once the whole night, I was just like, "Don't step on my shoes."
Yeah.
Social distancing before Rona was a thing. I'm like, "Get the fuck back."
Back up. 7 feet from the shoe.
I'd be like one of those guys that's like, these are $120. Don't step on them. I'd be like, I don't know how much these were, but don't fucking touch them.
Touch
I'll murder you. No,
Yeah,
those
man.
are good, dude.
Good. Love,
Yeah.
like to love it, man. That's our gift for you being a good co-host and not sleeping on Sundays anymore. Let's get to some of our underrateds. For me, it is Pippin. I love Pippin. Brandon, what is your underrated character?
My underrated was Samwise. I said that kind of towards the
Yeah.
beginning. But
That's
Frodo's
your
a bitch,
favorite.
Samwise the hero. No, my favorite dude was Gimli and Legolas. That relationship.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Gotcha.
Stick with the fucking program.
He said, which I agreed with, you could slash him for any favorite, underrated, but not least favorite because he was the hero. 100%.
He's the fucking hero of the movie.
That's why he's underrated, because he should have been praised as the hero, not fucking Frodo.
That's right. He should have had all the wine and fucking bitches.
Yeah,
drunk as
he'd take him.
had grapes and fanned.
He should have been. He should have his wife feeding him grapes for the rest of his life because he's saved.
Damn right.
Okay.
But he's too humble. He's just like, I'm just doing my part. I'm saving the world for Betty White.
100%. He's saving it so she can live on.
He's like, I know she's out there somewhere.
I had asked before our break, what's some of your guys' favorite scenes in all three movies?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I've got one off the top of my head, which my wife just brought up. Well, she brought up that Legolas is a badass, which he is. But the scene where they're at Helm's Deep,
That was gonna be my that's the first one popped in my head.
when he's fucking up dudes on the wall and he grabs their shield and fucking like throws it down, rides, and I think kills like 3 of them before fucking shooting that shield in the dude's chest.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, or in all these movies, because I'm like, first of all, Lord of the Rings, you guys make elves way cooler than every other fucking race, period.
So I've played with people who do elves in D&D. They ain't as cool, but everybody's like, I have to kill Legolas. I'm like, okay.
It's
Come
crazy
fucking.
how overpowered, and I think that's how he made it. Like, he didn't want it to be balanced. Like, when they run through the snow, a weird power elves have in the book, they run on top of the snow. They never sink in. So when, like, Gimli's charging after the orc horde that took the other hobbit, he's working all the time. Legolas is like, why aren't you running faster? Let's go. He's like, so
yeah, this is being like out. And he's got like fucking Magnavision when they're like super far away, and he's like, what do your eyes see? And he's like, you don't see shit when the camera picks out, but he fucking tells you what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Love it, dude. Fucking, he really did make the elves OP, but anything Legolas does, I'm on board with.
I'm gonna
like riding down with elephant trunks and killing things.
Yeah.
How
He's
badass is
doing it.
He's the best sharpshooter in any movie. He knows his way around a bow more than any other character in all of cinema.
Seriously.
You should have joined the Avengers.
He should have.
Hawkeye ain't got. He needs fucking laser sight to help him.
Hawkeye needs homing arrows. This motherfucker
Yeah,
can
what
do
the fuck?
I'm going to tell you my favorite scene that,
right.
by the way these movies are filmed is awesome. The composer, too, of the music, they filmed all three of these at the same time. Howard Shore is the name of the composer. Awesome. He went on set and made music, and they filmed it differently depending on his music he was making. So really hand in hand. But one of my favorite scenes is when they're tracking the hobbits, and they do the horse thing where it's about to stomp on Pippin or Merry. And then they show up and like, we burned all the bodies. There's no survivors. And they go check it out, and he's just tracking it and seeing what happens. Like, this is where they were. And you can see he's sad. He's like, this is where he got stomped to death. This is where they fell. This is where their bindings got cut loose. This is where they rolled. Like, he started getting excited that they were like, escaping. He's like, and then they started going this way, and they made their way in the forest. And I thought it was so cool. And then he kicks the helmet when he finds out they're dead, or thinks they're dead, and he breaks his toe in real life.
Did he really?
Yeah, when he screams onto the ground, he literally just broke 2 toes because he kicked that iron helmet. That was not a prop helmet. Be careful, dude.
Yes. They're like, Vigo, no! Oh.
They're like, what good acting? He's like, yeah, why don't we act like there's an ambulance on the way? Because
For those of you who don't know what D&D is, that's called rolling a natural 20 on an investigation check. So there's no fucking way you find that shit out from looking at the grass. But he's like, oh, fuck, I mean, you rolled a natural 20, so here's what you find. You see, and then he just fucking tells them. Because he's like, this is where their bindings were cut. And it's under the fucking grass all stumped on. He's just like, look at this. Chucks it.
He's right.
Look at this shit.
Can I roll to see if I can find out exactly what happened? I mean, I guess you can try. Okay, so I guess that's exactly what happened. Somehow you know this. Here we go.
It's like playing with Brandon.
Just because you roll a nat 20 doesn't mean you always get perfection. Rob.
Hey, don't be mean to Rob. Rob's saying if I like Post Malone. Does he ever
Yeah, I
use
miss Rob. Man, I miss Rob.
He did. He said a couple of tattoos. I think Dano could pull off a Post Malone right now.
I'll start working on the impression tonight, Rob. Thank you for the homework.
If you can sing like Posty, dude, I'd fucks with you.
Yeah, more than I don't already, but yeah.
Cool. I'll put on my new single.
Right.
I'm gonna call Misty Mountain. Hold on, I have an idea.
Steven, who doesn't know what rolling a natural 20 feels like.
That's fun.
That's what it's like, Steven. Just watch that part and now you know that's what it's like.
Brandon, what about you? One of your favorite scenes in all of it that's really like that whenever you think about Lord of the Rings, you're like, this is a dope part.
Let's talk about a couple. If you've got a few, let's talk about them all. Let's get them all out there.
And then I want to talk about the bad one.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the ones.
One of my favorite lines is the potato line by Samwise.
Yeah.
He's like, no, let me show you what to do. He's like, no, you're ruining them. You know, potatoes, you mash them up, put them in a stew.
Boil them, mash them in a stew.
So
Dude, I will always say that line whenever someone offers me potato. You want some mashed potatoes? You want some baked potato? Potato.
Potato.
I don't know why I love that line so much, but I do.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. He's showing his sass right there.
It's showing how true of a hero he is.
Right?
Like, fucking gourmet meals out in the middle of nowhere.
He's making gourmet meals for that punk bitch Frodo out in the middle of nowhere, and that unappreciative motherfucker's still sleeping.
That's where Gordon Ramsay learned how to cook with Samwise.
Yeah, you're goddamn right he did.
Okay, what's first? What do we got to do here? Potatoes. All right. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Take day, big boy.
What kind are we doing? Fry? Boil them? Mashing them? Are we sticking them in a stew? It's okay.
That's funny. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I like the bad guys in it. The deformed orc one, I wasn't super impressed with, just because the one that spit on a rock at the end and he like had to stab a guy behind one hand. I'm like, how did this guy rise to power? Do they decide who runs the army by who's ugliest? Because if so, this dude's like a brigadier general or something. Because this dude is tumor bound. This guy needs to go to a doctor like a year and a half ago. That got way out of hand. Something happened.
Yeah, he was the one that was like leading the armies from Mordor. I thought the same thing. I was like, how is this guy?
He has one eye and one hand.
Although he needs one eye. How does that make you feel that he's leading armies with one eye and you host a somewhat successful podcast, I guess, if we want to call it that, with both eyes.
A podcast.
Podcast. Successful.
I love it. I think it's great.
Not a failure.
But the bad guys, I really liked Saruman. I think in the extended version it shows you what happens to him, but in the regular movie it's like Treebeard just guards him in his tower now. I think he dies in the extended version, but he was a great bad guy. That fight scene with Gandalf when he realizes that he's evil and he's been working for Sauron. Sauron and Saruman, by the way. Let's again with the names. I mean, call one Philip and Saruman. You know what I mean? Like,
look, that's why you weren't writing any great books.
Yeah,
it's Philip and
Philip the White.
And also the fact
that
you chose Sauron to be Philip and not Saruman. Sauron is like the main bad guy, and you're like, no, his name's Philip now.
His name's Philip now.
Rule them all. I'm Philip. Make me an army worthy of Philip.
Make me an army worthy of Philip.
I loved
the Uruk-hai.
Very cool.
The half man, half orc hybrid dudes that are gigantic.
They pull them out of the ground in like egg sacks. That was
great.
They
pull them in like pits on the ground.
What?
And you get the berserker, because I'm a nerd and I looked this shit up, and that's what they're called. The unarmored ones with just the fucking helmet
and the big swords.
Yeah, and they have the fucking gigantic swords, but he's the one that's like running with the fucking gigantic sparkler. Yeah. If we're talking about least favorite scenes, the fact that this isn't actually fire and it's a fucking sparkler pisses me off. Because it's shooting off like sparks, and I'm like, "Where's just do fire? Why are we putting on the 4th of July?"
You gotta have pizzazz, dude. Pizzazz.
I guess, but that scene, and I loved that scene because you hear all the chaos, the fighting, the screaming, and then it cuts silent for half a second.
Mm.
It just jumps into the fucking the sewer tunnel, and then it just goes whoop, boom, and just blows the shit out of this thing. I just love that scene, how it's like war, violence, fighting, screaming, dying, and then silence, kaboom. Explosion.
The Two Towers, my favorite. I think it had a lot of action in it, but also had a lot of like serious stuff when Aragorn and Legolas are talking, and Legolas is talking to him just so he can understand him in Elvish. He's like, dude, you can't win this. And he's like, well, we're here. There's always hope. He's like, there's not hope. Do math. There's no way we win this. He's like, it's fine. He's like, they're all gonna die. He's like, I'll die with them. And he says that like in English, and everybody else like, oh, they were talking about how we're all gonna be dead soon.
Yeah. Also, the same thing. You get the kid, the younger like teenager kid, who's all fucking armored up because they're just looking for anyone who can fight. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up because that kid ain't making it.
That's brutal.
How you have to do it, man.
If over half of these adults ain't making it, this fucker ain't making it for sure.
That's because they're old.
And Aragorn just like basically, I mean, doesn't lie to him, because I don't think he tells him we're gonna win, but he's just like, yeah. Fuck, dude. Like, it's basically the talk that he gives him, but I agree. Two Towers is my favorite as well.
I really like it.
Because I think you get at first you get the watering of the seeds in Fellowship, and then you get like the sprouting of the actual tree that is Lord of the Rings in the Two Towers. Like, that's where you get the very first taste of what they were setting up. Obviously it's the second movie, but like I think they just like they took it from where it could have been, and like they just like shot the level up even higher with the Two Towers, like expanding the story wise.
Where was Rohan when we needed aid? When Gondor, where was Gondor? All that stuff. Second one I really like. You're seeing about them armoring up the kids and telling you how serious this is. And the speech is talking about, well, even if we win, we still lose. How can we have a world after so many people have been killed and there's so much evil out there? That's up so good for the third one, which is like, we're winning, but also Gollum's gone crazy because he betrayed him. He doesn't trust Frodo anymore, so now he's going to lead him to Shelob, which is the giant spider, which is funny. I watched this movie with my dad, who backpacked around Africa around our age. He's way cooler than me. And he goes, oh, he's talking about Shelob. She's a giant spider. My dad's like a tough guy construction. What do you know about Lord of the Rings? He's like, oh, I've read that book like 35 times. Like, really? He's like, oh, yeah, no, I like the series way more than you do.
That's so funny.
I was like, that's crazy. I never would have guessed. But I think it's very much like Empire, where the bad guys are winning.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's kind of starting to turn, and can they get? It's almost evenly matched, but it looks bad. Can they come back? And that leans perfectly into Return of the King with Aragon, and then building up to the biggest final fight at Minas Tirith. Really like it though. The second one's definitely my favorite. First one's good. Second's my favorite.
Yeah, I like the third one. The first one, my least favorite. The third one's my second favorite, I guess. Not by
The third one is my least favorite.
And I get it's long and it's not as. I'd say it's not the least action filled because the first one.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as. It doesn't go as deep into the action or as often as Two Towers.
Yeah. It was just they gave Frodo too much love.
No, you ain't wrong, dude. You ain't wrong.
That end is just all about loving on Frodo. I'm like, nah, dog, that's a no for me. He ain't getting some love.
No, I agree. Manda brought up she likes the scene with Treebeard and the dam when they finally take over.
I love Treebeard.
Dude,
It was voiced by Gimli.
Voiced by Gimli.
Voiced by Gimli.
That's pretty fucking cool. I like how they start the meeting with the Ents.
Yeah.
Broad daylight. And then it's like dark, and he's like, "We've just said hello." I'm like, "Oh my god."
We have agreed on the Intmoot that you are not orcs. Good news. He's like, and then one guy's like, "Oh, that is good news." He looks over, he's like, "But what about the war?" He's like, "Oh, that's a long time. We have to talk for a long."
Yeah.
The studio told Peter Jackson, they go, "Listen, your movies are too long. We need to cut down the tree talk. Why don't you have them talk faster?" And he goes, "No. He goes, they have to talk slow." He's like, "Not only that, I think I'm gonna have them talk slow. I think they talk too fast as it is." And the studio's like, "Jesus Christ, we can't. It's too long." He goes, No. You're right. We have to make it slower." He slowed it down, which I love. I think it's great. But they're talking like this, and then it cuts back to the wars and people getting thrown over walls and explosions. And he comes back. "I like walking south. It feels like I'm walking downhill for some reason." Very relaxed and very jaunty and.
I do like how you say it's like they say it slow or they talk slow, and then he gets to the southern woods and he sees all those fucking trees are gone.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "These trees are my friends," and then all of a sudden he's just yelling, talking fast as shit. He's like, "Shit, hit the fan! Enough of this like lazy."
He's rage moding. He's got that rage mode.
He became determined with the quickness, and he was ready to fuck shit up.
Fuck yeah!
How do you like? You want to talk about persuasion checks? How about Mary's? The closer we are to danger, the farther we are for harm. Isengard will never expect it. And he's like, "That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, you're very small. Isengard it is."
Yeah. True. Again, persuasion, dude. Natural 20 on the persuasion.
Killed it. Let's get into our third guy, guys. Let's get into Return of the King a little bit. I want to jump right into our last guy.
Okay, Return of the King. I liked the growth of Aragorn throughout these movies.
Yeah.
Seeing the payoff of him actually like, because at first he doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to be with the crown at all. Wants nothing to do with Gondor. Goes through all this shit. Sees that there is some good that can be done in the world. He just unfortunately has to be king to do it.
Mm.
And, you know, the payoff of him at the end finally being king. And again, the fucking "you bow to no one" to fucking Frodo. You should have made Frodo bow to Sam, okay?
Damn right. Sam bows to no one.
Yeah, when fucking Sam and Frodo bow, and he's like, "You bow to no one." No, fuck Frodo, okay? He should have been taught.
Except you, Frodo. You keep your head down. Maybe in some water.
Don't even get up. You stay on the fucking ground.
So good. He's awesome in this. I love Viggo Mortensen. He just got a nomination for Best Movie with The Green Book, which I think, Brandon, didn't you say you liked that one a lot?
Oh, yeah, I really like that one. I know it's a lot of flash or whatever, but The Green Book to me is good.
Is that the one with Mahershala Ali?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to see that.
Too. He crushed it. Awesome.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
It looks really good.
I'll have to watch it.
Yes, you will.
I will. I loved the scene with the ghosts, the former king of Gondor that his army that never showed up and were cursed to be dead.
I didn't love it, to be honest. I mean, I liked it. Fucking, I don't know if there's much of the movie I didn't like, especially when Frodo wasn't on screen.
Yeah, no, you ain't wrong.
But to me, it wasn't like my favorite. It was one of the cornier scenes to me.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it bothered me, but I was like,
it's not my favorite, but I like the scene how like
yeah, I get it. But
this open cavern. All of a sudden, you see like the ghost town, which you ain't wrong.
So cool.
It's a little corny, but it looked fucking awesome.
It does
What
look
if
cool.
cosplay that would be like be neon with like the predator blood looking face? So cool.
I liked how when they go east and they take the ships on the river
Yeah.
and they dock, and he's like, "It's about time you got here." And three
Scurvy dogs.
yeah, 3 dudes hop off. They're like, "Okay, cool," and they like go to attack, and then all of a sudden just fucking get poured over by a tidal wave of ghosts. I thought that shit was pretty cool.
That was pretty badass. That's an entrance right there.
It's the best entrance. Another one of my favorite scenes from this is when, and you don't see it unless you watch the extended editions, when the Witch King and Gandalf have their meeting. Have you guys watched the extended?
Oh yes.
I
I
don't
watched it on HBO Max.
HBO Max has some extended stuff, but I mean, because they're like 2.5, 3 hours long on HBO Max.
Yeah,
but
it's not like
I think are 4.
Yeah, before. So I watched them, but not this time.
He's fighting. Gandalf's fighting off orcs on the like the Minas Tirith, one of the lower tiers, and he's whooping ass. And then all of a sudden, fucking, you get the gigantic Nazgul come down and basically perks up, and they have like a conversation. It's really fucking cool because it's like this is something that should have happened. Because and as you find out once you watch The Hobbits, like they've fought before. But seeing like these two, like, I know he's not a wizard per se, but like these powerful entities kind of like finally get their head to head. I thought that was pretty cool. But again,
you're not wrong. He's like the Witch King of Angwar or something like that.
Angmar.
Yeah, and they are like magic opposites, right? Gandalf the Grey, the colors of the wizards are like their titles and what they do. So Radagast the Brown helps the beasts and birds, and Gandalf the Grey helps people. So he'd go and inspire hope and people and rally them together. Well, whatever wizard was white is made to defend people against the evil creatures and demons and stuff, which was Saruman. Saruman flipped. He studied the bad guy so long, he turned into the bad guy. So when Gandalf came back as the white, he's like, now I'm leading this motherfucker. Now I'm the one fucking pulling up with cannons, motherfucker. So that was a really cool. I'm with you. When he started writing out and fighting and blasting with beams of light and swords and stuff, I was like, this, I didn't understand at the time, but I had to watch some stuff. And they're like, yeah, this is why before he would fight, but just to flee. And now he's like, I'm a general of this army and we're going to win. Very cool. I like that. I like that scene a lot too. Those Nazguls were dope, picking people off the walls and throwing off assholes of them like thousands of feet down. I was like, Jesus.
Just grabbing handfuls of people and then just being like, whoop, see ya, and then just fucking them.
They just
yeah. To your point about the about how he's like on the front lines like a general, when they fall back to the next level, they're like, it's like one gate, and they're sitting there holding it, and he's right there, like, hey, fucking you go hold this. Put something up there. Like he's like directing, and he's right there. He's not like super far back telling this stuff. And then he has a moment with Mary or Pippin, one of the, I think it's Pippin, right there, like 10 feet from where a fucking troll's about to break through. And he's just like, well, Pippin, here's the thing. It fucking sucks, but we're in this together. Like, I thought that was really cool. I love Gandalf. One of my favorites.
How about that scene when he goes, no matter what comes through those walls, you are men of Gondor, you will fight to the last man. Be brave. And then Cave Trolls burst through it with armor and weapons. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, even he's like, ooh, I don't know.
What's the daisy?
I did like Grog, which I think it's fun. Or Grond. It's called Grond. It's that massive, fiery fucking battering ram they have.
Yeah, with like the wolf head.
Yeah, the wolf head. It's because I think it's supposed to be like a hell hound or something like that.
It's cool.
But I also like how they just, if you listen to it or even the subtitles, they just chant Grond the entire time. Grond. Grond. I'm just like, is that all you guys say? If you like, is that your duty once you're on there? You're just
That's
like
the line. They're speaking line.
That's all they need to say.
We just got to chant this thing's name, and apparently it helps. But
yeah, I was gonna say that shit helps, man.
They just all, are they hyping him up? I guess.
Yeah.
Hyping
up. You guys chant my name.
Yeah.
And did.
I already knew, buddy. Every time I take a poop. I want to talk about my overrated, which is my controversial one. Almost took me out of Lord of the Rings, which is we'll start fighting whenever you're ready, Jordan. Legolas to me needed more flaws. He was too overpowered. He even had an extra scene where he outdrank the dwarf and was not even tipsy. I was like, I get it, they're superhuman, but that doesn't make interesting characters, guys. You got to make them have something wrong with them. You have to have a moment where he kind of gets scared or kind of does something. You can't have him just be badass and then slide down a tail, kill an elephant, slide down the stairs in the shield, invent snowboarding, stab people with arrows, and then shoot the arrow. I was like, I get it, he's good. Take it down a notch or two. You got a level 10 with level 2s. The level 2s are looking like bitches now. It's not working out. You got to find a balance. It's a problem.
I'll blow your mind. I agree.
Woo!
Yeah, you do make good points.
That's the thing, is I hate to admit it, but your points are valid.
If it wasn't for the Gimli Legolas relationship, I wouldn't like him as much. He's still a badass. Don't get me wrong. He does some really cool shit. Like that sliding down the stairs thing is badass, but yeah, the dude ain't got any flaws.
Yeah,
he didn't miss. I don't think ever. I mean, there's just a couple parts where you're like, man, he just seems like the elves are like, we better leave. Like, you have more than one Legolas. I feel like we have a victory here, guys. If you just focus a little.
All you need is like 5. They'll just stand up there, just snipe them all.
Right?
They shoot 3 all the time.
Just like, trust me, guys, I got this.
I have an army. We have a Legolas.
His speed also of not really aiming. He's just like fucking. I'm like, you had to have missed.
He rolled that nat 20, dude, on everything.
He did all the time. He had weighted dice that the DM never saw coming.
Dude, it's just 20s on every side. He's just like 20.
Natch.
That's my overrated though. But like overrated and least favorite in this, I think the reason why this movie is amazing, like this series is they had so many good actors in the first movie, and the second movie they brought in more good actors from good characters. There's not a character where I'm like, oh, this sucks. Even the guy that played Wormtongue was awesome. You hated his guts. He was after the girl whose name was it Eowyn? Was that her name?
No, Eowyn was the elf.
That was Liv Tyler, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Liv Tyler. I can't remember the name of the girl who goes, I am no man.
Yeah.
I liked her character. That seemed a little crazy, and they didn't give enough backstory. Seemed like she killed him on a technicality or something. But even then, not my favorite character. Still a good character. Still awesome. She's badass after Aragorn. Aragorn's like, nah, I got this elf bitch back at home. Ain't interested in you, whore. Sorry, not what I'm about. I'm about that eternal life. I promise Elrond. Hugo Weaving over here. I can't go back on him.
That's true. You can't go back on Agent Smith, dude. He'll track you down.
No.
I got Tyler back at home.
If I'm not mistaken, I think to your point of how much you hate the names, I think her name is similar to Eowyn. Like it's like
Arwen.
It's like Arwen. I think it's Arwen. I might be wrong, but
that might be right. That is crazy.
It's something like Arwen. Arwen.
Yeah, Arwen.
Arwen, where it's like super similar. As soon as you said I can't remember. I was like, oh my god, I think it's like exactly like Eowyn, but minus one or adding one letter.
Isn't that crazy? Brandon. I think this is very normal. This is the name of our. This is our regular names. This is our Lord of the Rings names here now.
I've said my least favorites. You gave your favorites. You gave your favorite with Gandalf. My favorites I gave overrated. Is that what we're doing?
I did overrated for Legolas for me.
Overrated for Legolas. What about you, Brandon?
I did Frodo because fuck that piece of shit.
Dang, you hate Frodo. You don't like Ringbearer too tall.
Why would I like him? Give me one redeeming quality about Frodo.
He carried the ring. He volunteered to carry the ring.
Not redeeming. He bitched about it the whole time.
He did.
He was dying, bro.
Anyway, he literally carried him and that ring.
It's true.
Certainly did.
Speak about it, tearjerker scenes. When he fucking tells him, he's like, I can't carry it for you. He's like, but I can carry you. And he picks him up. I'm like,
Damn right. That's a hero. He knows his strengths.
You fucking can't carry him. You carry his ass, Sam.
He just walked over and threw him in. Just needed that motherfucker.
The only mistake he made was giving up at the edge.
Gave him a fucking old school gorilla press.
That's right.
See ya. After he's just like,
he's just flexing.
Open up the crowd. Woo!
He grabs the mouse out of nowhere and just starts fucking shaking him back and forth. All
So
for
funny.
The Randy Orton pose. Just,
yeah. He just funny.
One of my favorite characters that is probably going to live longer than anybody else is Smeagol Gollum, played by Andy Serkis, who's going to be directing the new Venom movie that I'm really excited about.
Let that be called.
He did such a good job that the Academy wanted to win an award for him. They're like, yeah, but we don't really have something for a motion capture thing where you voice, and it's like, or we would give you an award. And he's like, well, you do. It's called Best Actor. And he just told them that. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to give Best Actor to a cartoon. He's like, why? He goes, it's me doing it. They just made me look like Gollum, and the voice is me and the facial expressions are me. What's the difference? And they're like, well, we didn't know that, but also we don't want to give it to a character, not realizing that they probably should have. I mean,
they should have. Even though the movie is like the most awarded franchise of all time,
right?
They still should have, and it's true fact. It is more awards than any franchise.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah. And he did the same thing in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yep.
With that, it's a trilogy. Yeah, they had 3.
Yep.
In that trilogy. Well, I mean, no, the new one, the only one that matters. Fuck
yeah.
It was the same thing where he was like, he had said that he had come out and said with that one too. He's like, I'm going for Best Actor.
Yeah.
Like he'd come out publicly and was like, I think it's time we recognize like the things that a lot of other a lot of us actors do. Look at the video with Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug when he fucking is like all in the mocap thing and he's around getting into character. Like he goes through just as much acting as the guy who puts on a fucking costume and acts. They just do it digitally.
I would say the only difference for me is because he did do motion capture stuff. Gollum was his facial expressions and his hands and his feet and his legs. I think Benedict Cumbersomething was great as the dragon, but I don't think he put in the work and had the character development. He was just an evil dragon the whole time. Gollum was a good guy. He talked to himself in different voices. He went from being a monster to coming back to screaming to, I just thought his character development.
I love Cumbersnatch as Smaug, but
Runner Dick
Circus is the best.
100%. But I mean,
I'm gonna shout to our dear friend Benisnitch Cumbersmatch. I think this guy was amazing, and he's my favorite sandwich. Benedict Cucumber Snatch. That guy has a porn name ready to
go. You can say that guy's name 90 ways, but everybody knows who you're talking about.
He's the guy that says Penguins.
I'm gonna give my shot too.
Butterscotch cum bucket. This one's for you.
I think I'm with you in the ghosts. I thought the ghosts were an awesome scene, and I think they addressed it perfectly when Gimli was there. One of your favorite guys, Brandon. When he shows up, and they go, "Is our oath fulfilled?" And we see him like run over elephants and destroy armies, and then he's like, "Release us!" And Gimli's like, "These guys seem pretty handy." And I mean, maybe we keep them for like, I don't know, the rest of the day at least. I mean, there's more bad guys.
He said they seem pretty handy in a tight spot. And he's like, "Man, I'm just saying, if shit gets worse, these guys might not be half bad."
I'm just saying that ring is still out there. You know what I mean? Like these guys can help.
Job's not done yet.
I feel like you're clocking out midday. Aragon, let's go here, buddy.
Right. One thing I like that they brought up in the extended editions, as compared to and I wish they would have put it in the theatrical version. I get why, because it wasn't a necessary scene, but it was something that was in the book. The mouth of Sauron, when they make it to the Black Gate, and they've got their army out front, and the gate opens up, and one dude walks out, and he's got looks like a tower for a face that looks like Barad-dûr, which is Mordor's tower. Mm-hmm. And he's the guy that speaks the thoughts of Sauron. And it was in the book, and I like that they put it in the extended edition. So if you haven't seen it in a while, go back and watch it. But it basically ends with him spitting off all this shit to Aragorn to piss him off, and then Aragorn just cuts his fucking head off. And then that's when the Black Gates open and the army pours out. But let's get to the speech that Aragorn gives.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Get you fucking jacked, dude. I would fight for Aragorn. I'm telling you right now. I'm a
One
regular.
of the better movie speeches out there.
Really good.
It's not this day. Love it.
There will be a day that men fall. It is not this day.
I listen to music to pump me up in the mornings for work, but maybe I just need to listen to that speech every morning.
Listen to that speech, dude. You'll be so jacked. You'll be ready to do all the work plus somebody else's work.
That's right.
Um,
You'll cut the head off the first boss that talks.
I can barely do my own, so I need that.
You're like, I could use it, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's a great scene. Him riding by. I always thought it was funny whenever I see those scenes and there's like 30,000 riders and one guy's talking. I assume everyone in the back's going like, "What did he say? Did he say
Also,
something?"
at the end of the road, just in the front line, he's got to make that long ass road that looks like 5 miles long. I know his voice ain't carrying. They're like, "What'd he say? What?"
It's one of those things where it's like you got to tell the whisper in somebody's ear, and then they got to tell the next person.
Yeah,
You got to have like the translator just miming it, or
it's a daisy train of that. Just
that's right.
he said, "Ride now, ride now." Yeah, okay. And that's all it is. It's just a
it is
daisy.
not this pay. I think is what he said. It is not this pay. He keeps saying, "Are we getting not paid?" I feel like
Are we not getting paid? Why are we here? Let's get the fuck out of here.
There will be a fall of Dan, but it is not this pay. Seems weird.
When Theoden could telephone, Amanda says it could have been a telephone.
Exactly.
You know? When Theoden, when Rohan shows up to Gondor, and Theoden gives his speech again, pretty awesome speech. Get your jack.
Pretty good.
I'd ride into battle for him.
Okay.
But I saw a meme about it is not this day. It's like one day I'll get to bed on time so I can wake up early, but it is not this day. I was like,
not this day.
Story of my fucking life. I get that every fucking day of my life.
I love all the Lord of the Rings memes. I mean,
dude, you can put it in any
secret.
Oh, is that the name of the game? I'm sorry, Amanda. Apparently,
Yeah,
that's
the name of the thing where you start with one guy whispering, and then by the end of it, it's like anchovy peanut butter porch house. And you're like, "What did you really say?" He's like, "No, that's what I said. I said that."
It's like, why?
Come on, man. Those are games, dude. Seriously?
I didn't. You know what? All right. See you.
Fuck. Oh, perfect shot.
Wow, fans only page Whiskey Cinema really paying off.
Oh,
Yeah.
finally.
We'll get there one day. Don't worry.
Yeah, we will. I'm not already there.
Great speeches in that. I also equally like the bad guy speeches. I think all the speeches were well written, almost like they came from a great book.
Yeah, right.
If you don't change a lot of the stories, for some reason it works if the stories are really good. I mean,
I'll bring up one more character before we get done with this.
Fatty Bulger. I like Fatty Bulger. He's the hobbit that stayed behind and took his photo so that Black Riders would come looking for him, but it'd just be Fatty Bulger. Unsung hero. Good old Fatty. All right,
Right.
More of a hero than Frodo, that's for sure.
That's true. Everybody is.
Everyone, even so.
Even Sauron at least wanted to unite the people and not cry like a bitch about it.
Yeah, he at least wanted to kill Frodo like we all did.
Yeah, I wish he would have.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, get him. Leave Samwise alone.
Didn't get paid off on that one. Thanks. I'm gonna bring up one that I'm surprised we haven't brought up. Boromir.
Boromir. More like All right.
I was gonna put him down as one of my favorite characters.
Awesome.
And I don't think they do him justice in the movie.
Sean Bean,
man, the guy, the only actor. Fuck Frodo, Amanda.
I'd like to lay off his life.
Yeah, I wish somebody would lay Frodo off of his fucking life.
Yeah, lay his head on the ground, detach from
do
his body.
yourself a favor and not interrupt again, okay?
Sean Bean is the only actor who could never make it past the first season or the first ever movie of any series or movie that he's in. He could be a trilogy. If he's in one movie,
Ed Stark or GoldenEye or 1,000 other things he's in.
If he's in one movie, he doesn't make it past the first 10 minutes. That's it. They're like, we need somebody to die.
Well, they're like, God, we've got to kill off our bag. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. I know who it is. But his dissension, I guess, of being because he wanted to use the ring right off the bat. Like he was turned immediately as soon as he saw the goddamn thing.
Oh yes.
And fought the urge. Him realizing, like when they're in the mountains and realizing how he fucked up.
Yeah.
or after the mountains when he's in the woods and he's trying to tell Frodo sorry, and Frodo's put the ring on and ran.
Like a bitch again.
Of course, when the Uruk-hai come in the book, that dude takes like 33 arrows to the chest, and he takes 3. He takes 3 in the movie. Like he fights literally to the death in the book as his redemption. I believe or it might be the chapter, or it might just be the story called the Redemption of Boromir. I might be wrong, but he fucking like fights his ass off in the book. And I thought Sean Bean did really well as Boromir, in all honesty.
Awesome.
He played an asshole, and then he also played a hero like really well. At the end.
You want to talk about memes? One does not simply insert whatever you want here, because that's been around for 20 years.
True.
One does not simply go through this podcast without mentioning Boromir.
That's right.
True. We should have brought it up sooner. I meant to, but
I did debate on putting him as my underrated, but since I had Samwise there, it wasn't room for a Slash.
No, you went wrong.
Great underrated though is Boromir, because it really does show you the temptation of the ring. He's the only one that goes fucking skits and goes, he's like, just give it to me. I can save my people. And he's just like, no. He's like, it's a weapon. We can use it against him. He's like, that's not how it works. It only destroys. Give me the ring. And then he starts going crazy. Like, whoa, okay. So that's why Frodo has to take it, because a lot of people will just take it and go crazy. You can't even risk it with other people.
And he brings it up in the meeting in Rivendell where he's like, you people don't know what's going on. We're right across the fucking river from Mordor. We see it every day.
Poor guy.
We need to finish this shit. What are we doing? Like,
they need to move is what they need.
They're on that edge of the bad neighborhood where the cops get called all the time.
They're one of my other shit keeps getting stolen, the cars getting broken into. Like, why though?
They just needed to move.
Yeah.
You went wrong, but I liked how he was like, he called them out. He's like, you guys sit and argue, but you don't see it. You don't deal with it every day.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
Sean Bean's awesome. In that one reunion show with Josh Gad, they talked about some awesome scenes, and Sean Bean is terrified of helicopters. And they had the scene where we're on the mountaintop. And Sean Bean said, so it's going to the top. He's like, what time do you want me up there? And he's just like, well, we're all going to be up there like 7 in the morning. He's like, I'll wake up at 4, get dressed, and I'll meet you at the top. Because I'm not riding in a helicopter. It'll take me about 2.5, 3 hours to get there. He's like, if you want to, he's like, yeah, that's what I'll do. So they said when they were flying up in the helicopter to the scene, they would look down, way down below, and there's Sean Bean dressed as Boromir, hiking through the woods with a shield on his back and a sword at his hip, and he's just moving brush, and he's just like, I don't know if that inspired him to do those shots of them traveling or not, but I'm sure he saw that and went, I fucking love this job. Today is amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's just method acting.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis who, right? Sean Bean. Yeah.
Sean Bean.
I'm gonna make this joke, and I hate that I'm making it. Kobe would tell him it's better to.
Dude, his wife's gonna get so pissed off at you.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, the one time.
My favorite player. Okay, I can make that joke. Anybody else got anything else or anything they want to bring up about Lord of the Rings? A character, a scene?
Eagles. I got to talk about the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Got to talk about the Eagles. That is a big plot hole where they say, why don't they use the Eagles? I've heard enough people say, if they use the Eagles, the Nazgul would have just killed them. I think in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, the Eagles fuck up the Nazgul and stuff. But it just wouldn't have worked because the Eagles are like, people. And by the way, the Eagles deserve a seat on the council after these movies. I'm just going to say it. They say they're smart men. They're birds. Put them some bird pants, so you respect them more or something. Because I feel like they're helping so much. And you guys are like, yeah, but they're just like birds. I'm like, I mean, even if, let's say they are just birds, you need to buy them gold nests. Because for how much they've helped you, this shit is ridiculous. You got to give them some land. You got to let them farm. You got to let them feed cattle. I don't know. But you got to figure it out because these guys have saved the day in the TV series. I'm sure there's 2 Eagles that are main characters. I'm positive.
I would hope.
They do a spin-off comedy, just the Eagles sitting there waiting to get their names called, just like, yeah, man, any day now, Gandalf's going to call us to save the day. And
waiting for that one moth. Also, how fast is that fucking moth?
Fast.
Okay?
Fast,
right?
In Lord of the Rings, I think it's the 2 Towers, when he's up on the fucking Tower of Isengard.
Yeah.
And he fucking finds that moth and he whispers and it goes away. That takes some time, and then the eagles get there. In The Hobbit, he finds it, he whispers, not but 5 minutes later, the fucking eagles are here. I'm like, how?
Well, they were young then, dude.
I mean, maybe that's what it is.
Their wings were so spruce and light. It's like, fuck yeah, man.
Maybe that's what it is. But I was like, why is this moth so goddamn fast as compared to the one in Lord of the Rings?
Just a better moth. Maybe that moth is like a descendant of that moth, and it just like, there'll come a day when Gandalf will need your help. And he's like, whatever, Dad. That was back in the day. And
maybe that moth has an extra, ligament or muscle in its wings, makes it fly faster. You don't know.
Muscle twitch, quick twitch.
Yeah. See, it's got something because it motherfucker was like the Flash.
Well,
5 minutes later, the Eagles.
The Flash wishes he was that fast.
It's true.
Gandalf made pine cones into grenades too. So I mean, you got to like take a little bit and give a little bit. You know what I mean?
That was viable.
And he just throws it down at the fucking. They're ripping off the limbs. That's a cool.
That was viable as fuck. Did you see those things? Those were watermelon-sized fucking pine cones. Okay.
Yeah.
Palming these things like this. Like, I don't know if you've ever held an actual pine cone. You could probably grab it like this.
Yeah.
They're
not super rare.
He's got small hands.
Maybe
he's 6'10" or whatever in the movie. Fuck.
Does he have Trump hands?
Little tiny hands, ear huge pine cones.
Here's the thing, pine cones. I'm gonna blow you. Who?
What you don't see is off camera is Treebeard. He's looking over and just watching Gandalf make a tree fire and setting fire to the entire forest. And he goes, "A wizard should know better."
He just looks up. He's like, "Why is he lighting those babies on fire?" Shocking them.
No more inklings for reasons we won't go into.
Gandalf's like, "Hey man, I had to get the fuck out of there. Baby sacrificed, but it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good."
We love Lord of the Rings. We're big fans of it. We've had a lot of people ask about Hobbits, mainly Eames and Steven. We'll definitely do an episode of The Hobbit, absolutely. Yeah. And the show should be coming out later this year on Amazon, so it'll give us another reason to jump back into it. And we'll have to think of the names of all the 27 dwarves. Gimli, son of Gloin, son of Thandor, thing of
Nelly, Jelly.
Nelly, Jelly.
Tumbler,
Eddie and Spaghetti.
Ed, and Eddie. Yes, okay.
Eddie, hello.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning to Lord of the Rings. The absolute best character, we're all in agreement. Samwise, the worst character of all.
Frodo. And Denethor.
Yep. Frodo first.
And that moth.
That moth is on steroids.
Yeah. He's juicing. That moth is juicing.
Who has it?
And we need the Eagles to get a pair of pants in the TV series. Eagles and pants. We have to start a hashtag. They deserve better.
They do. All right, y'all.
All right, thank you guys so much. As we're leaving, we're going to show you a little bit of some other social media online podcasts you guys can check out. Part of the buzz. Thank you so much. And we'll check you out
next week. Cheese bags.
Stay fresh. Cheese bags.
Cheese bags.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish?